everyone, it's Sami from Sami's Sweet Life, and today I've got a pregnancy update. This is going to cover weeks 19 through 23. I'm 23 and a half weeks pregnant as of filming this, so it covers 5 whole weeks. We did take a great vacation in June. We were at the beach for 2 weeks. We visited Nana and Papa, which are Johnny's grandparents, for about half a week. We also went to SeaWorld, and as you can see by my background, I finally took an IKEA road trip. It is kind of an adventure because it's all the way clear across Austin. It takes a while to get there, and then it takes a long time to go through the store and pick up everything. And thankfully, the IKEA people are so helpful because I did not have to lift or move anything big. They loaded it all for me, loaded it into the car, and Johnny unloaded. So I did help build, but I did not have to do any sort of heavy lifting, which was great. So we got 2 shelves here. I'll show you a quick sneak peek of this room. It's still kind of in progress, but for the most part, everything's where it is supposed to be. Here is a quick sneak. I'm going through and organizing my cardstock, so there's quite a mess up there from that. I'm just gonna, label all the little tabby things and get them all in there. And then I've got my tools over there. And then here is the shelf area. I really like how it's set up. We've got lots of room to grow. Most of those are empty on this side. And also the boxes are empty. We've got all her boxed things. We pull those out, one at a time and then put them away. And then I think there's nothing in those drawers now that Johnny got the Roku set up. We haven't used the TV yet, but it's set up. And then books, the baby books will go in the baby's room. We've got a pile of stuffed animals over there, and that's pretty much it. We just got everything organized, plenty of storage for toys and room to grow, which is also great. We also got a little shelf for baby. Oh, I almost said the baby's name. We've been calling the baby her name, but I'm not telling you guys yet, so I almost slipped up and said her name. Her room's not done at all yet. I just got the shelf for her room, and so Livy and her will have the same little 4-cube shelf from IKEA. We've got the bins for it already. We also got another almost identical table to the table Livy's been using. They didn't have the same light pink color. They had white and red, so we got white. And then I also got 2 darker pink chairs. So we'll have 2 chairs and a table for outside. So far, when we're doing paint and things that are messy, we take the table outside, and it's just a big hassle to take the table and chairs in and out. So there's one dedicated for outside now, which I'm really happy about. But I think that's it as far as the IKEA trip. We did go to SeaWorld, which was, I think, everybody's first time. I don't know if I went as a kid, but it's not something I remember going to as a kid. I may have, but it was basically our first time and Livy's first time. It was her first time on a roller coaster, and it was really fun. Also, we spent a lot of the time at the pool, and between the pool and the beach time, hopefully you guys can see, I am super tan now. You can see my original color there. Thankfully, Livy seems to tan really well. She hasn't gotten sunburned at all, and we are really good about putting sunscreen on. I set a timer on my clock as soon as we're done putting on sunscreen, and then we reapply it throughout the day. I'm just really a stickler about sunscreen, but even with that, I'm super tan. That's pretty much it as far as our hiatus month goes. I do have lots of pictures and lots more details. If you want to know more about SeaWorld or our vacation, I'd be happy to do a June review video and walk through pictures and things. Let me know if that's something you're interested in. I may actually do a dedicated SeaWorld video because there were a couple of things we learned along the way, and I thought it might be helpful. So I may do that. So there were 3 main things I wanted to talk about before I moved into the questions, and I covered one, which was the IKEA furniture new background, which is so much nicer than the old junked up background. It was long overdue, but it was one of those things that I could not do while she was at school because I didn't have enough time to pick her up. So I just wanted to do it while he was on vacation and they could hang out. So the other bit of news is I ordered a diaper bag. I got one from Freshly Picked, and the light might go in and out. I have the shades pulled down, but the sun's going behind clouds and then coming back out. So I'm not getting really harsh lines, but you might see the color and the light changing. We're just gonna roll with it today, but I did get a diaper bag. It is a pre-ordered one because it is a new color. It's fig. They are supposed to be really easily washed, so you can just wipe them down, which is always great. It has little metal feet on the bottom, like some of the higher end purses or bags, so it never touches the ground. It is made of vegan leather, which is really nice, and the color I chose is fig, and online it's hard to tell what color it is, so I did the online live chat with somebody to make sure that it was the color I wanted. I didn't want it to be like a purpley color. She said it's definitely a dusty rose pinkish color, and that's exactly what I wanted. So I'm really excited. It's actually quite a long pre-order. It's going to get here in September. So due in October, it'll be plenty of time, but I really wish I had it now to show you guys. It's just gonna be one of those things I show you at the very end, but I'm really excited. It's a backpack style diaper bag, and with 2 kiddos, I really just wanted something I could throw on. I didn't have to worry about it falling off of my shoulder. I used a couple of different bags with Olivia, and every one was one of those like messenger bag style or over the shoulder style, and I really wanted something I could just put on my back and kind of forget about. I worried when I was pregnant with her, and then when I switched diaper bags after she was already born, I worried having things, you know, on my back, paying attention to a kid and not paying attention to anybody around me. And this one has a security spot so that you can hide your wallet and your keys and your phone, so nothing valuable can be grabbed out of your bag or accessed on the outside of your bag. So I really, really like that. It's going to be like against my back so nobody can get to the important, valuable stuff. I kind of worry about that because my friend did get pickpocketed when we were at Panera one day. She had her bag just sitting there and a guy slipped his hand in and took her stuff, and it's just kind of freaked me out since then, and I definitely will always make sure I put those things deep in my bag. Anyway, the third bit of news is my not so good news. I did have my anatomy scan and the baby is perfect. Everything measured great. She looked healthy, but my placenta is covering my cervix. So it's not all the way, like if this is where your cervix is at the bottom of your uterus, say like right here is your cervix, sometimes your placenta just lays right all the way across it and it's like smack dab covering your cervix. Let's say this little part is my whole cervix. My placenta starts right at the edge, goes all the way and on one side. So it's covering my entire cervix completely 100%, but it's the edge of my placenta. It's not like the center of the placenta. So there is a possibility that it will move, and hopefully it will move, but if it stays where it is, or grows, you know, the other way, which has the possibility. So like right now it's like this on my cervix. If it starts growing this way, like it's moving in the wrong direction, but we're hoping as my uterus grows, it slides like this and gets out of the way of my cervix. So this is called Placenta Previa. You can look online, look at pictures, and it's a full Placenta Previa. It's covering my full cervix, and I was devastated about this. When I found out, I broke down in the car. I'm still really like hormonal, so I'm upset just talking about this with you guys because this means no chance of a VBAC. If you have any sort of placenta coverage over your cervix, even a partial, they will not let you do a VBAC. So I'm really, really, really bummed about this. I'm really hoping that it will move. I had to go to fetal maternal medicine. It's a totally different place near the hospital, and they did my anatomy scan. They counted everything. She's perfect, but they told me this placenta thing at the very end, and I have to go back. There is a chance that it can move, especially just since it's the end of the placenta covering the whole thing. It is like overlapping on the other side of my cervix a little bit, but we're hoping that it will move. I do have a follow-up appointment in a couple more weeks. They wanted to see me back at 6 weeks to see if it has moved, and the doctor really tried to reassure me that it can move, like it's a definite possibility that it can, but she also set me up for what's to come. And if it does not move, there's a serious possibility that I will have bleeding. That's just a common thing when you have complete placenta previa. It just causes bleeding because your placenta's there, you know, it's very vascular, and especially like future pregnancies, your cervix will open up, especially near the end of the 2nd trimester through the 3rd trimester. When your cervix opens up, that vascular tissue right there can lead to some bleeding. So we're gonna really monitor that. Thankfully, thus far, I've had no bleeding at all, not even spotting in the very beginning of my pregnancy. So that's something I'm really scared about. At the appointment, she said, since it's just the end of my placenta and not like the center of my placenta covering everything, she's not gonna put me on restriction, but she wants me to just, you know, kind of take it easy. But basically, if you go on restriction, it can be as light as no exercise, no sex, no heavy lifting, no squats specifically is one thing she mentioned. And basically, you know, you just really take it easy. No exercise, no nothing. Then she said it could be all the way up as bad as you get put on bed rest. And some people have blood transfusions. That's how much they bleed during this. And I'm scared. I'm a little bit scared about this. I had one friend in Champaign who did have placenta previa. She did have a C-section, but as far as I know, she didn't have any scary bleeding. And so far I haven't, but I've read online and it's really a mixed bag. Like half of the people I've read seems like their placenta moved out of the way, especially towards the end. Some people, it was like they were almost getting wheeled into the operating room and their placenta had moved so they could have an induction. So something like that. And obviously in my VBAC situation, they are not gonna induce me. If you have placenta previa and you go into labor naturally, it can be really scary. It can be potentially fatal for you and the baby. So they will not let me go into labor at all. Like if I had any signs of labor, I'm going straight to the hospital and getting a C-section, and it would be an emergency C-section at that point. So I'm just really upset about this. I didn't even think about something like this. It's not a super common thing, but it's also not completely unheard of as well. So if you have had experience with placenta previa, let me know down below. Let me know how it went with you, if it moved. I'm just really, really bummed out about this, and I'm really hoping that it will move so at least I get the chance to choose. Like, I don't know if I'm going to do the VBAC. Like, if I had the choice between the VBAC and the C-section, it really depends on the day which one I'm going to want. I may not make that decision up till the very last second, and I just wanted the option. I wanted to be able to choose to try to have a VBAC, and this will take away that choice. So definitely upset about this, trying not to cry for this video. I'm getting all choked up, but I definitely have cried a lot about this. I was a wreck, for a couple of days just thinking about this, and I'm scared about the bleeding part too. When I talked more to my regular OB about this, and she again said if we have any kind of bleeding, she is going to put me on restriction. So I'm really hoping I don't bleed. I'm really hoping I don't have to go on restriction. Especially I hope I don't have to go on bed rest, but these are all, you know, serious possibilities with this condition. She was more on the line of like, yeah, you're gonna bleed, just like be ready for it, and if it's just a little bit, it's okay, just use pads. Instead of it's like a period level blood, you need to come in, and if we're closed, you need to go to the ER. So she really was like, you know, we gotta watch the bleeding really carefully. That kind of freaked me out because I didn't have any bleeding at all with Olivia's pregnancy or so far this pregnancy, but she basically said like, you're gonna bleed and you just need to be mentally prepared for it, because I was talking to her about like, what can I expect? Like everything, it seems like, is against me for this VBAC, and I'm just gonna have to roll with it. And we'll say, as much as I'm like devastated about this news, it hopefully won't have any effect on our new little baby. Our new little baby's perfectly healthy. So long as I, you know, take it easy. She said, don't do something like CrossFit or anything very strenuous. She said low impact exercise, like I've already been doing, walking, swimming. We go swimming a bunch. So I'm definitely getting some good low impact exercises in. Hopefully keep this baby really safe in there. And like they counted fingers and she just looked great. And the thing is, like, so far, everything about this baby has been really super chill. As soon as they put the Doppler on my stomach, they find her heartbeat and she doesn't move around all that much. Whereas with Olivia, it was like chasing around the baby with the Doppler because she's always flipping and kicking and moving. And it took forever to do Olivia's anatomy scan, just absolutely forever. And with this little baby, the baby stayed basically in the same position the whole time. She moved just a little bit and it was just enough to get all the measurements. So she was head up during this anatomy scan, and she said if she stays breech, definitely it's a C-section, but the babies can flip a bunch, and I think she has flipped because I'm feeling different pressure lately. But anyway, that's another complication. If she's breech, I go to the C-section. If my placenta doesn't move, I go straight to the C-section. If I don't go into labor on my own early, I go into the C-section. If I hit 40 weeks, I go into the C-section. So it's probably most likely going to be that, and I'm setting myself up for that. I kind of mourned the possibility with finding out the news about the placenta. I kind of mourned, but I'm just so thankful that she's completely healthy. She has all her parts, her measurements were perfect, like spot on to the day I'm supposed to be. So it was really great. I don't know where the ultrasound photos are right now, but I think I have some pictures on my phone. So I will share that with you guys if I do. Put it between some of Livy's like coloring books and stuff because I took that scan with us to visit everybody. Anyway, this will probably be my longest pregnancy update video because it's covering 5 weeks. I'm just going to kind of talk about generalized things more towards like the recent weeks, like 22, 23. I didn't keep detailed notes from week to week. We were traveling and all that stuff. So it's just going to be mostly a recap of the last couple weeks aside from the stuff I just filled you in on. So let's go ahead and walk down my list. I am currently 23 weeks and baby is the size of a grapefruit, which seems really small. Baby's like 12 inches long. So I think grapefruit's more of the weight because the baby's over a pound now. One of the best new symptoms is I can see the kicks on the outside of my stomach every once in a while. I did film the first ones.
Did you see that? You see it? Oh, she's moving right there.
I am definitely feeling movement all the time now. I also think she's rotating around because I will feel the kicks on various parts of my stomach and not just like the same movement, the same spots. So she's rotating around, which is pretty normal at this size. One thing that has not been so pleasant is I've been having hot flashes, and it just seems like randomly I will just have to go sit under a fan or hold the fridge open, get a couple of pieces of ice and a towel and cover my forehead or my neck. It's just the hormone fluctuations. I have still been mostly tired, but I have had some energy bursts. Like one day I just woke up and I'm like, I'm going to IKEA today, and did it and was fine. But there have been a lot of days where I'm just like, I want to just lay on the couch all day still. I still want to take naps in the afternoon sometimes, and it's been great because Johnny's been home. So during Olivia's quiet time, I will get a little nap in, and I know he's there in case she needs something, because she'll come out of her room and ask for water or go to the bathroom and things like that. And I never want to sleep while she's awake. Like that's one of my things. Like when she's awake, I can't sleep. So I'll like lay there and listen for her, but that's about it. So when he's been home, it's been really nice to sneak in that nap every once in a while. My stuffy nose has definitely been a little bit worse. They are getting over a little cold since coming back from the beach, but I didn't really get it, but I've been dealing with a little bit of stuffiness, and I don't know if I've been trying to fight it off or that's my version of having the same cold, but they both coughed really bad and had, you know, more throaty stuff, and mine's just all been sinuses. One of the things that has also been not so pleasant is I told you guys I've had some constipation. Well, I got some really bad constipation. I did have hemorrhoids with Olivia's pregnancy, and I got them again this one. So one of the things the OB told me is I cannot be straining that hard because it will put pressure on my placenta as well. So I am on fiber 1 bars. I have multiple of those a day. I've been trying to eat some high fiber fruits like apples and things, and make sure I'm eating lots of veggies so that I can make sure that everything is running smoothly in my system. She did say, you know, if the fiber 1 bars and the high fiber foods don't work, to get some of the like powdery things that you mix in the drinks and be chugging that stuff, because she does not want me straining at all. So that's also been, you know, kind of nerve-wracking. Also, my heartburn has been terrible still. I'm still on the prescription one that I got, and she also recommended going ahead and adding Tums in with that, so I take Tums as needed as well, and that's definitely helped a lot, but I still have, you know, heartburn issues. According to the bottle, I could take 5 Tums a day, and most of the days I'm taking 4 or 5, so it's still just been a major issue this whole pregnancy, and it's not let up at all. It's actually seemingly gotten worse as far as like just the heartburn part. Thankfully, I'm not nauseous at all, hardly ever anymore, which is great. And going along with that, I'm not having to eat around the clock, where I was eating like every 2 hours. I don't have to do that now. So I usually just eat my normal meals and maybe a snack in the morning, a snack in the afternoon. I'm eating more regularly than I was before. One of the symptoms I had for a couple of days was I felt so much pressure in my pelvic region. I just felt so much pressure. I'm going to pee every hour to 2 hours and just constantly felt like I had to pee, and I could breathe again. It was really pleasant and also really uncomfortable. I was feeling so much pressure down there. It was just really uncomfortable, especially when she would kick. It felt like, you know, some people call it lightning crotch. It just like hurts down there when you feel like that. Those days I could eat a whole lot more, and I could actually breathe too. So I don't know what she was doing, but she was really low those days. But since then, it's gone back and forth. So sometimes I'll feel her really low and I'll have some relief off of like the upper part of my lungs and my stomach area, but have more pee problems. And it just flips like that. And I really notice her more on this right side, like kicking and pressure on this side versus the left side. So she's doing something down low and she's doing something on the right, and it's getting more and more uncomfortable in that regards. And so far, aside from those 2 days, I have not had to pee around the clock for the most part. I have like a day here and there where I feel like I have to pee constantly, but most days I'm just going more normal to what I used to do. I'm really thankful I'm still able to mostly sleep through the night. I do wake up and toss and turn, and that's just kind of my MO when I'm not pregnant, but I haven't had to get up and go to the bathroom very often, just like a couple of hours before it's time for me to get up, I'll run to the bathroom, go back to sleep for a couple more hours, and that's it. So usually I just wake up that one time to go pee, but those nights when she was really low, it's like all night long I was waking up and going pee. I'm guessing as she just gets bigger, I'll feel more of that pressure low down, but I don't know what she was doing. Like she had some part of her body pressing really bad down there, and I was having lots of pelvic pain, lots of the lightning crotch, and the peeing issues. So let's talk about cravings. The main overarching craving that I have had, and I still have, is just for seafood. And we went to the beach for 2 weeks. I ate seafood for 2 weeks, and I thought I was over it, and then we came back and I still wanted seafood. And so basically, even before this 5-week thing that I'm talking about now, I was craving seafood. So I'm still all about the seafood. And Johnny's mom at the beach made me shrimp dip, which is just one of my favorite things. She is the only one who makes it right. I've used her recipe a few times and it's just not the same. She just makes it way better than me. And it's 2 pounds of shrimp, and she made it for me 4 times. So that is 8 pounds of shrimp dip that I ate in the span of 2 weeks, and I could have had it for more. They left a couple of days early, so we had a few days to ourselves, just the 3 of us at the beach, and she made me a batch the day before she left, and I ate it like the next day, and there were a couple of days I didn't have any shrimp dip, so I really could have gone through like 10 pounds of this shrimp dip, and it was so good. But yeah, we ate seafood every day for lunch. We would go out and have seafood, and I would have the shrimp dip for dinner, and basically I ate seafood for 2 weeks, and it was amazing. I did find this little Cajun style seafood food truck that is local, and I cannot wait to try it. I just recently saw that we have one, so I'm gonna go hit them up, and they have like everything. They've got crawfish, scallops. We do the standard things like shrimp. They sometimes do soft shell crabs, which are awesome, and they just have a lot of options, and I cannot wait to go try them. I've also had shrimp on our menu a couple of times. We've also had crawfish a couple of times, and I'm making crab soup tonight. It's something we had on vacation, and I just can't get enough of the seafood. And kind of going along with that, I really like the crawfish sushi that we get. It's, you know, fully cooked. It's basically a California roll with crawfish on top, and I've just been buying the bags of crawfish to stick on the regular California rolls so I can have as much crawfish on each sushi piece as possible, and it's really good. We've had that a bunch of times since getting back. I've also been craving fruit, so I've been eating lots of cherries and apples, sometimes strawberries. I got some peaches and made peach cobbler, which has been really, really good. Peaches right now are awesome, so we've been getting peaches, and also we've gotten a lot of asparagus. That's one of the things I've craved like multiple times this pregnancy. I cannot get enough asparagus or those Southern style green beans. I'm back on the green beans kick. I just love them so much. And I crave sweets intermittently, but for the most part, those Fiber One bars are totally sweet enough for me. And also if I'm eating sweets a lot, I get raging heartburn, like way worse. We got Krispy Kreme donuts, and that was one of my worst heartburn days after having a couple of donuts. Something about donuts really, really sets me off. I've also still really like the popcorn, and that's a great thing because it has lots of fiber. So that's something I've been snacking on a bunch. I've been really trying to feed whatever cravings I have, especially aside from the seafood, the sushi, and the green beans. I haven't really craved a whole lot, like I have to eat this right now. It's been different this pregnancy versus with Olivia. I felt like with Olivia, I had a one-track mind, and whatever craving I was having, that's all I could think about, and I was really obsessing about things. And this time, aside from a couple of things here and there, I haven't really obsessed about it. It's like, oh yeah, I could really go for an apple right now, but it wasn't to the point of like, I need this apple. I'm thinking about the apple for hours, where I was with her pregnancy. So it's been different. As far as aversions, I haven't had anything lately that has just been totally gross and grossing me out, except broccoli. I just really don't like the smell of it cooking. I think I said in my last update, I've had broccoli cheese soup quite a few times. I've made that. The broccoli being steamed in the Instant Pot just doesn't gross me out, but smelling it cooking in the oven and roasting just really just churns my stomach. Other than that, I haven't really had anything that's been an aversion. There's been lots of things that I've cooked for dinner I've just not really been in the mood for. When we got back from vacation, I watched my updates 19 through 23 with Olivia's pregnancy, and one of the things in one of the videos was just talking about how starving I am and I'm craving everything and I want to eat all the time. I have not had that, and like even when I'm craving something and I want to eat something, I'll eat a certain amount of it and not be able to eat very much at all at a time. So that part has been just getting increasingly worse, but I haven't been starving. There was like one evening where I was starving. I ate a bunch of things over the course of the evening, whereas usually I'll have like one snack, 2 at the most. But this evening I was like snack after snack after snack, and I was really hungry. But other than that, I haven't felt like oh yeah, the baby's definitely having a growth spurt. I'm starving all the time. As far as weight, I'm at 183, which is 5 pounds up from my last update, which was 5 weeks ago, and I was completely shocked. I was absolutely shocked. I tested a couple of times over the course of a couple of different days to make sure that it was right and it wasn't just like a fluke low day, because I did eat a bunch of seafood. We went on vacation. I really thought I would gain more over that, but it's been steadily about 1 pound a week. I am 16 pounds up overall, and I went back and looked at Olivia's pregnancy. I was 13 pounds up with her pregnancy, so I'm 3 pounds heavier this time, and I already started out heavier this time. You know, the weight gain's just part of it, but I kind of expected it to be higher this time, so I was a little bit shocked. I know it's coming though. The new discovery for me has just been the Tums. They have helped so much with the heartburn. I don't have as much struggle. Like when I start feeling that heartburny feeling and feeling really uncomfortable, I'll pop a Tums and start feeling a lot better. The next thing on my list is comparing this pregnancy to Olivia's pregnancy. I've done that a couple of times throughout this video. I just think it's been totally different. And one of the main things I've noticed as like an overall overarching theme of my pregnancy with Olivia versus this pregnancy is, for that pregnancy, I was just like blissfully happy, just ecstatic about everything, very rarely feeling upset or negative emotions. It was just like, just always a really happy emotions. And this pregnancy, I have really struggled with just putting a positive spin on everyday life. I'm just kind of miserable. I'm just kind of complaining and kind of weepy in the negative sense. And it's really hard for me to get to those really super happy emotions, where I feel like last time that was just like my natural state. And this time my natural state is to be kind of annoyed, kind of in a negative mood, kind of grouchy. And I've really had to fight that. I've had to try to put a positive spin on things. I've really noticed lots of things that Olivia and Johnny do just annoy the crap out of me, and it's just, you know, it's just my hormones. It's totally a me thing, and I really had to work hard to not like lose my temper, and I think I've done really good at that, but it's definitely been a chore to like inside my head just calm myself down and not get annoyed at every little thing. And I really hate that. I hate being like a really negative, complainy, grouchy person, and that's how I've been like most of this pregnancy. I have road rage. I haven't taken it out on anything, but I can feel myself getting mad when I'm driving, whereas before I'm just like, okay, come in, cut me off, it's no big deal. I would get annoyed here and there, but now I'm just like raging when somebody cuts me off, and it's just totally not my everyday personality. So I know it's just, you know, it's just the hormones raging, but I wish it was the other. I wish it was like I'm blissfully happy all the time and super ecstatic about everything, and life's just rainbows and sunshine, because that's how I felt her pregnancy. And this time I'm like, everything stinks. I can't wait to not be pregnant, and I'm grouching about everything and complaining all the time. I just wish it wasn't like that. I wish I didn't have to fight against those feelings constantly to like have a really pleasant day. It takes work for me to have a pleasant day right now. That's definitely something I didn't expect. I told Johnny, I was like, I know I complain a lot, but I want to complain a lot more. Like I want to just complain all day long about every little thing. It's beyond the point that I'm annoying myself with this. So I really can't wait for this pregnancy to be over. So I can start feeling more normal again. I think that's pretty much it for the comparisons. I will link to those 19 through 23 updates with her, and also I'll link to the whole playlist with her pregnancy, the whole playlist so far with this pregnancy, so you can catch up with any of those if you want to see any of those. The best thing was just having that month of family time. It was so great. The beach was great. I took completely 100% off of social media. I still watched YouTube here and there, and I didn't post anything. So it's been really nice to take that break, and I'm slowly getting back into it. This is the second video I have filmed so far. I filmed a grocery haul that you have already seen. I already went up on the 1st, and then this one, and I have a couple videos I had planned on putting up in June, but I didn't even work on them at all. I didn't even take my laptop with me. I just had iMovie closed on my computer basically the whole month. Didn't do a thing, and so it's really nice to have that break. I feel refreshed from that, and I plan on having lots of videos for you guys coming up. But that was a much needed break and vacation and relaxation time, and the family time's just been invaluable. Liv is back at school this week, and Johnny starts back at work again next week, so it's been really just nice to have them home, and I'm not looking forward to getting back into the routine of things. I still wish we were at the beach. The worst thing has been the still continuing heartburn issues, the not being super hungry issues for the most part, the major constipation issues, and then also finding out about the placenta. I was just really upset about this. I'm coming to terms more with it. I think I go back in like 2 weeks to find out if it has moved, and if not, they probably will put me on restriction. That's something that she kind of warned me of. She's like, if it doesn't move, you know, the further you get, the more restrictive we're gonna have to be. And she told me, you know, the list of things that I won't be able to do. Just kind of worrisome because I just don't want to be on bed rest. I don't want to be bleeding. I don't want to be on bed rest. It sounds like something that's really scary. Worst case scenario is you go on bed rest and you're hospitalized. So it's one of the worst pregnancy things I can think of. So I just really hope I don't have to deal with any of that. On the agenda this week is just getting back into our routine more and more because Olivia's at school. So I'm waking up early, taking her to school, and working on getting the house more in order since having them home for all this time. And no questions. So if you have any questions for me, leave them down below and I will answer them in my next week's update. So let's go ahead and look at the baby bump. And we still don't have a middle name. So if you have middle name suggestions, continue to put those down below. All right, scooting back. See, I did end up getting this shirt at Old Navy. Just I ordered a bunch of stuff before vacation, and then these shorts are from Motherhood Maternity. I got 3 pairs of shorts from them. This one is one of the under your belly shorts, so it has little stretchy parts, and then I got a couple that go over the belly, which have been really nice because as it's gotten bigger, I needed more support. You can see I'm wearing those maternity underwear, so they go all the way up, but the shorts don't. Well, let's see, get this lined up again. You guys can see baby belly. This is 23 weeks of baby. There you go, see it right there. And it's funny, those days where she feels like she's right here, like way down low, I have noticed that up here it's a little bit flatter and then it sticks out more at the bottom. So she's lower those days for sure. I feel like maybe it's more pokey outy right here, like more pointy almost. So there you go, there it is. And I've been talking for a year, so I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope you guys enjoy this update, filling you guys in on the last 5 weeks. I will try to do a pregnancy update for you guys for week 24 next week. So be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe so you can follow me along. Check out the playlists if you want more pregnancy related videos. I documented my whole pregnancy with Olivia, so I'll leave all those relevant links down below for you guys. I hope you have a great day and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.